Everyone. Imagine waking up every morning feeling completely in control, not just of your actions, but of your thoughts, your emotions, and your decisions. Imagine facing challenges not with fear, but with clarity and confidence. The truth is, the most powerful tool we have isn't technology, money, or even talent. It's our mind. But here's the problem. Most of us let our minds control us instead of us controlling our minds. We react instead of respond. We doubt instead of believe. We let external circumstances dictate our internal state. But what if we flip the script? What if we learn to take charge of our thoughts, to master our emotions, and to train our minds for success? That's exactly what we're going to explore today, because those who learn to control their minds don't just change their own lives, they change the world. Awareness is the foundation of everything we do. It is the first step toward growth, transformation, and ultimately control over our minds. Without awareness, we operate on autopilot, reacting to situations based on ingrained patterns rather than intentional choices. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions become habitual, dictated by past experiences, external influences, and unconscious biases. We believe we are making decisions, but in reality, we are being driven by impulses and conditioning that we haven't even taken the time to examine. The human brain processes thousands of thoughts each day, many of which occur beneath the surface of conscious awareness. These thoughts shape our emotions, influence our behaviors, and determine the quality of our lives. When we lack awareness, we become prisoners of these thoughts, trapped in cycles of negativity, self-doubt, and fear. We react emotionally without understanding why. We feel overwhelmed by stress without realizing its true source. We seek validation, success, or fulfillment in external things, believing they will bring us happiness, only to find ourselves feeling empty once we attain them. True control begins the moment we step back and observe. When we pause to recognize our thoughts, instead of immediately acting on them, we create space between stimulus and response. This space gives us the power to choose how we react rather than being controlled by automatic habits. It is in this space that change begins. Instead of assuming our thoughts are facts, we can start questioning them. Instead of believing every fear or doubt that enters our mind, we can analyze whether those fears are based on reality or merely conditioned responses. Most people go through life unaware of how their thoughts influence their emotions. A single negative thought can spiral into an entire day of frustration or anxiety. A past failure can become a permanent label we assign to ourselves, affecting our confidence in every future endeavor. Without awareness, these patterns repeat endlessly. But the moment we start paying attention, we gain the ability to interrupt these cycles. We begin to see our thoughts not as absolute truths, but as temporary mental events that we can observe, question, and change. Emotional triggers are a perfect example of how lack of awareness can control us. Someone says something critical, and suddenly we feel anger or defensiveness rise within us. We don't stop to consider why we feel this way or whether the criticism is valid. We just react. Our emotions take over, and we lash out or shut down. But what if, instead of reacting, we paused for a moment? What if we asked ourselves why this particular comment affected us? What belief or past experience is being triggered? With awareness, we gain the ability to manage our emotions rather than being controlled by them. One of the biggest barriers to awareness is distraction. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with information, entertainment, and noise. Our attention is pulled in 100 different directions, making it difficult to quiet the mind and observe our own thoughts. We scroll through social media, watch endless videos, or stay busy with work, all as a way to avoid sitting with our own minds. But self-awareness requires moments of stillness. It requires us to turn inward, to reflect, and to listen to what our thoughts are telling us. Developing awareness is not about eliminating negative thoughts or emotions. It is about recognizing them without letting them take control. It is about understanding that we are not our thoughts, we are the observers of our thoughts. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. It allows us to detach from limiting beliefs. to let go of old patterns and to create new, empowering narratives. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, we can recognize it as just a thought, not a fact, not a reality, just a passing idea. And in that recognition, we gain the ability to replace it with a more constructive belief. Meditation and mindfulness are two of the most effective ways to cultivate awareness. Meditation trains the mind to focus, to observe without judgment, and to create space between thoughts and reactions. It teaches us to be present, to witness our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Even a few minutes of daily mindfulness practice can lead to profound shifts in self-awareness. The more we practice observing our thoughts, the less power they have over us. Another powerful way to develop awareness is through self-inquiry. This involves asking ourselves deep, reflective questions about our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Why do I react this way? What am I really afraid of? What assumptions am I making that may not be true? By continuously questioning and examining our inner world, we become more conscious of the patterns that shape our lives. Journaling is another tool that enhances self-awareness. Writing down our thoughts forces us to slow down and articulate what we are experiencing. It allows us to recognize recurring themes in our thinking, uncover hidden fears, and gain clarity on our emotions. When we see our thoughts on paper, we can analyze them objectively rather than being consumed by them. Surrounding ourselves with honest, self-awareness people also plays a crucial role in developing awareness. We often have blind spots, areas of our thinking or behavior that we cannot see clearly on our own. A trusted friend, mentor, or coach can help us identify these blind spots and challenge us to grow. They can provide perspectives we might not have considered and encourage us to see ourselves more clearly. At its core, awareness is about taking responsibility. It is about recognizing that while we cannot always control external events, we can control how we respond to them. It is about stepping out of victimhood and into ownership of our thoughts and emotions. The moment we become aware, we reclaim our power. We stop being passive participants in our own lives and start becoming active creators of our reality. Our thoughts shape our reality. Every action we take, every decision we make, and every belief we hold is influenced by the thoughts running through our minds. The challenge is that most of these thoughts are unconscious and automatic, shaped by past experiences, societal conditioning, and deep-seated fears. Many of the beliefs we carry are not even our own. They have been handed down by family, culture, and life circumstances. Without realizing it, we adopt limiting beliefs that dictate what we think we can or cannot do. These beliefs become mental barriers that hold us back from reaching our full potential. Rewiring our thoughts is about breaking free from these conditioned patterns and replacing them with intentional, empowering beliefs. It begins with recognizing that not everything we think is true. Just because we have a thought does not mean it is a fact. The mind often distorts reality, focusing on fears, exaggerating risks, and reinforcing negative self-perceptions. The key is to step back and question the thoughts that arise, challenging their validity rather than accepting them at face value. One of the most common mental patterns that hold people back is negative self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves determines how we feel and act. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, we will behave in ways that reinforce those beliefs. We will avoid challenges, hesitate to take action, and settle for less than we deserve. The mind seeks to confirm what it already believes. So if we have negative thoughts about ourselves, we will subconsciously look for evidence to support those thoughts. To rewire our thoughts, we must consciously replace negative self-talk with positive and constructive dialogue. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we shift to, I am learning how to do this. Instead of thinking, I always fail, we say, every setback is an opportunity to grow. These small shifts may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they reshape the way we perceive ourselves and the world around us. The brain is highly adaptable, capable of forming new neural pathways based on repeated thoughts and behaviors. By consistently reinforcing positive and empowering thoughts, we create new mental patterns that drive confidence and success. The stories we tell ourselves also play a crucial role in shaping our reality. If we see ourselves as victims of circumstance, we will feel powerless to change our lives. If we view challenges as obstacles rather than opportunities, we will shy away from growth. The way we interpret events determines our emotional and psychological responses. Two people can experience the same situation, yet one may see it as a failure while the other sees it as a lesson. The difference lies in their mindset. When we shift our internal narratives, we change how we experience life. Affirmations and visualization are powerful tools for rewiring our thoughts. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce the beliefs we want to cultivate. By repeatedly affirming statements such as "I am capable," "I am resilient," and "I am in control of my mind," we begin to internalize these beliefs. Visualization involves mentally rehearsing success, seeing ourselves achieving our goals, and feeling the emotions associated with accomplishment. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers use visualization to train their minds for success, because the brain does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. The more we visualize success, the more our minds align with that reality. Gratitude is another effective way to shift thought patterns. The brain is wired to focus on threats and problems, a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors stay alert to danger. However, in modern life, this tendency can lead to chronic stress and negativity. By practicing gratitude, we train the mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. When we actively acknowledge what we appreciate in life, we shift our mental state from one of fear and anxiety to one of contentment and possibility. Keeping a gratitude journal, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on what we are thankful for, can create profound changes in our thought patterns. The people we surround ourselves with also influence the way we think. If we are constantly exposed to negativity, criticism, and doubt, it becomes difficult to maintain a positive mindset. On the other hand, being around people who uplift, support, and challenge us to grow helps reinforce empowering beliefs. Conversations, media consumption, and social interactions all contribute to shaping our mental landscape. Being intentional about the information we absorb and the relationships we nurture is essential in rewiring our thoughts for success. Breaking free from old mental patterns requires patience and consistency. The mind resists change because it is wired for familiarity and efficiency. Even when limiting beliefs no longer serve us, they feel comfortable simply because they are familiar. The key is persistence. Challenging negative thoughts every time they arise, reinforcing new beliefs through repetition, and staying committed to the process of mental reprogramming. Over time, what once felt unnatural becomes second nature. New thoughts lead to new actions. New actions create new results. And new results reinforce the new mindset. Emotions are powerful forces that shape our experiences, influence our decisions, and determine the quality of our relationships. They can propel us forward or hold us back, depending on how we manage them. Many people believe that emotions are uncontrollable, that they simply happen to us and dictate our reactions. However, the truth is that we have far more control over our emotions than we realize. Mastering emotional discipline is not about suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It is about learning how to manage them in a way that serves us rather than controls us. The first step to mastering emotional discipline is understanding that emotions are responses to our thoughts and perceptions. The way we interpret a situation determines how we feel about it. Two people can experience the same event, yet one may feel frustrated while the other remains calm. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in their interpretation of it. When we recognize that emotions stem from our thoughts, we gain the ability to change how we feel by shifting our mindset. Instead of reacting impulsively to emotions, we can pause, assess our thoughts, and choose a response that aligns with our goals and values. Many emotional reactions are automatic, shaped by past experiences and conditioning. When someone criticizes us, we may instinctively feel defensive. When we face an obstacle, we may immediately experience frustration or fear. These reactions are deeply ingrained, but they are not inevitable. With practice, we can learn to observe our emotions without being consumed by them. Instead of instantly reacting, we can take a step back and ask ourselves why we feel the way we do. What belief is being triggered? Is this emotion based on reality, or is it an exaggerated response? By questioning our emotions, we create a gap between feeling and action, allowing us to respond with intention rather than impulse. One of the most effective ways to develop emotional discipline is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, observing thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we are mindful, we acknowledge our emotions without allowing them to control us. Instead of getting lost in anger, stress, or anxiety, we recognize these feelings as temporary states that will pass. This awareness allows us to respond calmly and rationally, even in challenging situations. Regular mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing exercises, help strengthen our ability to stay present and manage emotions effectively. Another key aspect of emotional discipline is learning to regulate our physiological responses. Emotions are not just mental experiences, they also have physical manifestations. When we feel anxious, our heart rate increases, our muscles tense up, and our breathing becomes shallow. When we are angry, we may feel heat rising in our body, our fists clenching, and our voice becoming louder. By recognizing these physical cues, we can intervene before emotions spiral out of control. Simple techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even taking a short walk can help reset our emotional state and prevent reactive behavior. Self-awareness plays a crucial role in emotional discipline. The more we understand our emotional triggers, the better we can manage them. Triggers are specific situations, words, or events that evoke strong emotional responses. They often stem from unresolved past experiences or deeply held beliefs. By identifying our triggers, we can prepare ourselves to respond differently. Instead of being caught off guard by an emotional reaction, we can recognize the trigger as it arises and consciously choose a different response. Over time, this rewires our brain to react less intensely to previously triggering situations. Developing emotional discipline also requires shifting our perspective on challenges and setbacks. Many emotional outbursts stem from frustration, disappointment, or fear of failure. However, when we view obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than threats, we reduce the intensity of negative emotions. Instead of reacting with anger when things don't go as planned, we can adopt a mindset of curiosity and problem solving. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, we can see it as a sign that we are stepping outside our comfort zone and growing. The way we frame our experiences directly influences the emotions we associate with them. Another important element of emotional discipline is learning to delay gratification. Impulsive emotions often lead to poor decision-making because they push us to seek immediate relief rather than long-term benefits. When we act based on instant emotional urges, we may say things we regret, make choices that don't align with our goals, or sabotage our progress. By practicing self-criticalness and delaying emotional impulses, we train our minds to prioritize long-term success over short-term comfort. This ability to regulate emotions in the moment leads to better decision-making, stronger relationships, and a greater sense of personal power. The people we surround ourselves with also influence our emotional discipline. If we are constantly around negativity, drama, or reactive individuals, it becomes harder to maintain emotional control. On the other hand, spending time with emotionally mature, self-aware people helps reinforce our own discipline. They model healthy ways of managing emotions, provide perspective when we are overwhelmed, and encourage us to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Being intentional about our social environment strengthens our ability to maintain composure in any situation. Emotional discipline is not about eliminating emotions, but about mastering them. It is about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to every situation, It requires practice, patience, and a commitment to self-awareness. Over time, as we develop greater control over our emotions, we gain the ability to navigate life with confidence, resilience, and a sense of inner peace. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and external factors that are beyond our control. Many people spend a significant amount of time and energy worrying about things they cannot change. Other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, the past, or the future. This tendency to focus on uncontrollable factors often leads to stress, frustration, and a sense of helplessness. However, the most effective way to take control of life is to shift focus toward what is within our power. By directing attention and energy to what we can control, we regain a sense of agency, build resilience, and create meaningful progress toward our goals. The first step in mastering this mindset is recognizing the difference between what is controllable and what is not. Many people waste mental energy worrying about external circumstances, how others will react, what the economy will do, or whether they will encounter obstacles. While these concerns are understandable, they ultimately do not change the outcome. What does make a difference is focusing on actions, attitudes, and responses. When we accept that external events are beyond our influence, but our response is within our control, we shift from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. One of the most important areas where this principle applies is time management. People often feel overwhelmed by responsibilities, deadlines, and commitments, but the truth is that time itself is beyond anyone's control. What can be controlled is how time is used. Prioritizing tasks, eliminating distractions, and maintaining focus are all within personal control. Instead of stressing about a lack of time, the key is to make intentional choices about how to allocate it. Small, consistent actions in the right direction create momentum, leading to greater productivity and a stronger sense of control. Another critical aspect of focusing on what can be controlled is managing thoughts and emotions. While it is impossible to prevent negative emotions from arising, it is entirely within personal control how they are handled. Instead of allowing anxiety, frustration, or anger to dictate decisions, practicing emotional regulation helps maintain clarity and composure. Techniques such as mindfulness, deep breathing, and reframing negative thoughts can shift perspectives and create a more balanced emotional state. When emotions are managed effectively, responses become intentional rather than impulsive. Personal habits and routines are another area where control can be exercised. Many people blame circumstances for their lack of progress, but success is often a result of consistent daily actions. Waking up early, maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and dedicating time to personal growth are all choices within individual control. When good habits are established, they create a foundation for long-term success. Even in situations where external challenges arise, strong habits provide stability and structure. By focusing on small, intentional actions each day, personal growth becomes inevitable. Relationships and interactions with others also present opportunities to focus on what can be controlled. While it is impossible to control how others behave, it is always possible to control how one responds. Many conflicts arise from trying to change other people, but true influence comes from leading by example. Practicing patience, setting healthy boundaries, and choosing kindness in difficult situations all fall within personal control. Instead of trying to force others to change, the most effective approach is to cultivate self-awareness and respond in a way that aligns with personal values. A key component of this mindset is the ability to let go of perfectionism. Many people hesitate to take action because they fear making mistakes or facing criticism. However, perfection is an illusion, and waiting for ideal conditions often leads to inaction. What is controllable is the effort put in, the willingness to learn, and the ability to adapt. Instead of seeking perfection, focusing on consistent progress leads to greater achievements over time. Learning from failures, making adjustments, and continuing forward are all within personal control. Another way to apply this principle is in goal setting. While external circumstances may create obstacles, effort and perseverance remain within personal control. Many people give up on their goals because of setbacks, but those who focus on what they can do rather than what they cannot overcome challenges more effectively. Breaking goals into smaller, manageable steps makes them feel more achievable. When attention is directed toward what can be done today, rather than worrying about long-term uncertainties, progress becomes steady and sustainable. The environment in which one operates also plays a significant role in maintaining focus on controllable factors. Surrounding oneself with positive influences, removing distractions, and creating a space that supports productivity are all within personal control. Choosing to engage with uplifting content, being intentional about relationships, and maintaining an organized environment contribute to a sense of clarity and motivation. The more control exercised over surroundings, the easier it becomes to stay focused on goals and personal growth. One of the most powerful realizations that comes with focusing on what can be controlled is the reduction of stress and anxiety. Worrying about things outside of one's influence leads to a feeling of powerlessness, but shifting focus to actionable steps restores confidence and direction. This mindset does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties do not exist. Rather, it means accepting what cannot be changed and taking action where possible. By consistently choosing to focus on controllable factors, a stronger sense of purpose and resilience develops. Self-discipline is the foundation of success. It is the ability to stay committed to goals, follow through on plans, and resist distractions or temptations that lead away from progress. Many people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on mood, circumstances, and external factors. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It is the ability to act regardless of how one feels in the moment. Those who master self-discipline create a structure that keeps them moving forward even when motivation fades. One of the key aspects of self-discipline is developing strong habits. Habits eliminate the need for constant decision-making because they create automatic behaviors that align with long-term goals. Instead of relying on willpower every day to make the right choices, disciplined individuals establish routines that remove friction. For example, setting a specific time for exercise, planning meals in advance, or allocating focused work periods each day eliminates the need to debate whether or not to take action. Over time, these habits become second nature, making success feel effortless. Time management plays a crucial role in self-discipline. Many people struggle with procrastination because they allow distractions to dictate their schedule rather than prioritizing what truly matters. Structured time management ensures that energy is directed toward meaningful tasks rather than wasted on unproductive activities. One effective approach is time blocking, allocating specific time slots for different tasks to maintain focus. When a clear schedule is followed, discipline becomes easier because there is no room for indecision or wasted effort. Another essential component of self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. In a world of instant rewards, the ability to resist short-term pleasure in favor of long-term success sets high achievers apart. People who lack discipline often give in to immediate comfort. Whether it's choosing entertainment over productivity, unhealthy food over a nutritious meal, or comfort over challenge. However, those who practice delaying gratification understand that temporary discomfort leads to long-term rewards. They push through difficult moments, knowing that every disciplined action compounds into greater success over time. Mental toughness is deeply connected to self-discipline. Challenges, setbacks, and failures are inevitable, but disciplined individuals do not allow these obstacles to derail their progress. Instead of letting difficulties shake their confidence, they develop resilience. This means sticking to commitments even when circumstances become difficult. It also involves managing emotions effectively, not allowing frustration, boredom, or self-doubt to interfere with progress. Mental toughness allows individuals to stay focused on the bigger picture rather than getting caught up in temporary discomfort. Self-discipline also requires setting clear boundaries. Many people struggle with focus because they do not protect their time and energy from distractions. Social media, unnecessary meetings, and unproductive conversations drain attention away from important tasks. Disciplined individuals establish boundaries by limiting distractions, saying no to commitments that do not align with their goals, and ensuring that their environment supports their ambitions. Whether it's turning off notifications, setting specific work hours, or creating a dedicated workspace, boundaries reinforce discipline by removing unnecessary temptations. Accountability strengthens self-discipline by ensuring that commitments are followed through. Many people struggle with consistency because they only rely on internal motivation. However, when accountability is built into the process, whether through a mentor, a coach, a support group, or a system of tracking progress, it becomes easier to stay on track. Checking in with someone, reviewing progress regularly, or keeping a written record of commitments creates external reinforcement that encourages discipline. One of the most overlooked aspects of self-discipline is the power of self-talk. The way individuals speak to themselves shapes their actions and decisions. People who lack discipline often tell themselves that they are not capable, that they can always start tomorrow, or that they deserve a break. Disciplined individuals, on the other hand, use empowering self-talk to reinforce their commitment. They remind themselves why they started, focus on the benefits of staying consistent, and shut down excuses before they take root. The ability to control internal dialogue plays a crucial role in maintaining discipline. Energy management is another factor that influences self-discipline. Many people struggle with consistency because they deplete their energy on low-priority tasks. When energy is mismanaged, it becomes difficult to stay disciplined. Prioritizing rest, nutrition, exercise, and stress management ensures that both physical and mental energy levels remain high. People with strong discipline do not just manage time, they manage energy to ensure that they have the capacity to take consistent action. One of the greatest benefits of self-discipline is the confidence it builds. Every time a commitment is honored, self-trust is strengthened. When individuals consistently follow through on their goals, they begin to believe in their ability to succeed. This confidence fuels further discipline, creating a cycle of success. Over time, disciplined actions become part of one's identity. Instead of struggling to stay on track, it becomes natural to make choices that align with long-term goals. This transformation from effortful discipline to effortless commitment is what ultimately leads to lasting success. The environment we create around us has a profound impact on our thoughts, emotions, and actions. While many people focus solely on internal discipline and mindset, they often overlook the external factors that influence their ability to stay focused, motivated, and productive. The spaces we inhabit, the people we surround ourselves with, and the habits we cultivate all play a role in shaping our outcomes. By intentionally designing an environment that supports success, we remove unnecessary friction and make it easier to stay on track toward our goals. One of the most powerful ways to shape an environment for success is to minimize distractions. Distractions are one of the biggest obstacles to discipline and focus. Whether it's a cluttered workspace, constant notifications from social media, or a noisy environment, these external factors pull attention away from what truly matters. Creating a distraction-free environment starts with identifying the most common sources of interruption and eliminating or reducing them. This might mean setting up a clean and organized workspace, turning off phone notifications during deep work, or designating specific times for social interactions. Small changes in the environment can have a significant impact on concentration and productivity. The people we surround ourselves with also play a critical role in shaping our behaviors and attitudes. It is often said that we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. If we surround ourselves with individuals who are disciplined, ambitious, and growth-oriented, their mindset and habits will influence our own. On the other hand, being around negative, unmotivated, or complacent individuals can drain energy and make it harder to stay committed to personal goals. Choosing relationships wisely, seeking out mentors, and engaging with communities that reinforce positive habits can strengthen discipline and create a sense of accountability. The physical environment itself can either support or hinder progress. A cluttered, disorganized space can lead to mental fatigue and reduced efficiency. A well-structured, intentional environment, on the other hand, promotes clarity and focus. This applies not only to workspaces, but also to personal spaces, including the home. Simple changes like organizing materials, optimizing lighting, and creating designated areas for work, relaxation, and learning can have a profound impact on motivation and productivity. The goal is to design an environment that encourages the behaviors and routines that lead to success. Another key factor in shaping an environment for success is controlling exposure to information. The content we consume, whether through social media, news, books, or conversations, directly influences our thoughts and emotions. Constant exposure to negativity, fear-based news, or unproductive debates can create mental clutter and reduce motivation. On the other hand, engaging with educational, inspiring, and constructive content reinforces positive thinking and keeps the mind focused on growth. Being intentional about what information is allowed into daily life ensures that external influences align with personal goals. Developing structured routines is another way to create an environment that supports discipline. Habits are easier to maintain when they are built into a consistent daily structure. Instead of relying on willpower to make the right choices, a well-planned routine removes decision fatigue and ensures that productive actions happen automatically. Whether it's setting a specific time for exercise, dedicating focused hours for deep work, or following a morning routine that sets the tone for the day, structured habits create stability and reduce the likelihood of distraction or procrastination. Energy management within the environment is also essential. Many people struggle with maintaining discipline because their environment does not support physical and mental well-being. Factors such as sleep quality, nutrition, movement, and exposure to natural light all affect energy levels and cognitive function. Creating an environment that promotes healthy habits, such as having nutritious food readily available, setting a consistent sleep schedule, or ensuring access to fresh air and movement, enhances the ability to stay focused and motivated. The stronger the foundation of physical and mental well-being, the easier it becomes to maintain discipline. Another way to optimize the environment for success is by incorporating visual cues and reminders. The human brain responds to visual stimuli, and strategically placing cues in the environment can reinforce positive habits. This might include placing a vision board in a visible location, keeping a journal or planner within easy reach, or using reminders that prompt action toward goals. Subtle environmental cues can serve as triggers that reinforce discipline and keep focus aligned with long-term objectives. Limiting decision fatigue is another important aspect of shaping an environment for success. The more decisions one has to make throughout the day, the more mental energy is depleted. By automating repetitive decisions such as meal planning, choosing outfits in advance, or scheduling workouts, more cognitive resources can be reserved for high-priority tasks. Simplifying routines and reducing unnecessary choices creates more mental clarity and strengthens the ability to stay disciplined in the areas that matter most. Accountability mechanisms within the environment also help reinforce discipline. Whether it's using habit tracking tools, setting deadlines, or having an accountability partner, external structures that track progress increase the likelihood of consistency. Knowing that there is a system in place to measure progress or someone to check in with adds an extra layer of motivation. Many high achievers leverage accountability by joining mastermind groups, working with coaches, or setting personal performance metrics that keep them focused and committed. By intentionally shaping the environment to eliminate distractions, reinforce productive habits, and support physical and mental well-being, discipline becomes easier to maintain. When the surroundings align with goals, the need for willpower decreases because the environment naturally supports the right choices. The external world should be designed in a way that makes success feel inevitable rather than an uphill battle.